with all technologies, there's a period where people experiment with them without any material commercial success. And that can go on for years. Like Google Glass came out a decade ago and no one made any progress on Google Glass apps for a decade. So sometimes, people tried to fly in the year 1500, and the New York Times said flying machines will be impossible like 60 days before the Wright brothers figured out how to fly. So you have these periods when things aren't commercial, and then you have a period where they become commercial. And I believe we crossed over into a commercial zone about a year ago in AI. So for the next decade, you're going to see ferocious innovation and advances that will be astounding in AI. And it represents both an extreme opportunity for the human race, profound opportunity, and an extreme threat for the human race. So
Michael Saylor has an incredible knack for spotting transformative technologies early on. Many associate Saylor with Bitcoin, but his initial wealth came from recognizing the vast potential of the dot-com boom and the proliferation of the internet. This foresight allowed him to invest in tech titans like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, and Google well before they skyrocketed. Today, a new technological horizon is captivating everyone: artificial intelligence. Before the emergence of Chat GPT, cryptocurrency was considered the fastest adopted technology in history. However, now AI has taken the lead, with Chat GPT amassing a staggering 100 million users in just 2 months. In a recent discussion with Kitco News, Saylor shares his perspective on AI, which he considers an opportunity even greater than Bitcoin. He suggests that entrepreneurs or innovators have a 12-month window to grasp this initial opportunity in AI, which he believes could generate massive wealth and bring innovative ideas to fruition. Saylor also believes that Bitcoin could be a solution to one of the biggest threats AI poses, in that AI bots could flood the internet, spreading misinformation and swaying public sentiment. By building out an interface in which real human users could be identified powered by the Bitcoin network, you could solve one of the many threats artificial intelligence poses. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video, where Saylor explains why he thinks AI could either lead the most significant revolution in history or signal the end of humanity as we know it. This potential scenario only strengthens his confidence in Bitcoin. Also, only a small percentage of my viewers are actually subscribed. If you enjoy finance content, consider subscribing or liking the video. It's free and you can always change your mind.
And so I don't want to leave you with the impression that I don't think it's profoundly productive to the human race. I think it could unleash a brain power revolution in the same way that internal combustion engines gave you a horsepower revolution. A Roman trireme with 300 rowers had 30 horsepower 2,000 years ago. And now any fisherman has 300 horsepower. So the fisherman is more powerful than Julius Caesar. That's the horsepower revolution that drives our cars and our boats and our planes, and it is profound and it elevated civilization. The brain power revolution, in a nutshell, is Michael Saylor has 2,000 people that work for him, and he pays $350 million for 2,000 brains. But you may get 2,000 brain powers and you may pay nothing for it. So what happens when you launch your own company with 2,000 AIs and they actually do $350 million worth of work, but you don't pay $350 million? Maybe that's profound in the same way that 300 horsepower on a fishing boat is profound instead of 3,000 slaves rowing, right? So I do think there's revolutions coming everywhere. I think the threat could be best articulated as this, and there's a million threats. I'm going to talk about 2 threats. The threat in cyberspace is I can spin up 100 million AI bots to take over Twitter or Nostr or Instagram or Facebook or Google, and they're more intelligent than I am, and they're more charismatic than I am, and they work harder than I do. And that means that I could use those to distort any kind of reality. If I want to be Katy Perry, I can create Katy Perry. I can create 100 million of Katy Perry's fans, and I can create
interesting choice, but yeah,
50,000 Katy Perry super fans. And it's all just a fictitious creation in AI land, because the cost to create an entity has gone to 0, okay? So that's a threat, because now the question is, can you trust anything unverified anywhere that you hear? In my personal experience, when I encountered toxicity on Twitter, 95% of the time, the toxic comments weren't coming from real human beings. They were coming from bots that were created by first-generation bot programs. So imagine the third-generation bot program, which is indistinguishable from a person with a PhD. So I could always tell the first-generation bots because they had bizarre names and they had like JPEG images and they looked stupid. But the problem of third-generation bots is they won't be distinguishable by any human being. They will be more human than a human. So the risk in cyberspace is I can spin up 1 billion fake people and I can create a civil war by having the fake Republicans hate on the fake Democrats, or the real Democrats, having the fake Democrats hate on the real Republicans, and having the fake women hate on the real men, and having the fake men hate on the real women until everybody thinks everybody is disrespectful to them. And by the way, maybe this is happening now.
Yeah.
Maybe it just happened with the first generation technology, and that's why we have the cultural divides we have. But imagine when I can do it 1 million times cheaper and better with the next generation technology. I think that the implication is we can no longer allow people to create millions of accounts. The other day, there were probably 2,000 fake accounts that followed me on Twitter in one day, which means there's 750,000 fake people following me on Twitter every year. No, legit, I saw it. I literally saw in a matter of 1 hour, 1,500 bot accounts got scrubbed off my account in 1 hour. And they were bots. So we can no longer live with that status quo. So the issue is, how are you going to actually create integrity in cyberspace? And I think the simple answer here is you actually create a public-private key identity pair like they use on Nostr, but then you have to actually inscribe it on the Bitcoin base layer with a transaction. So I determine Michael Saylor's public key is this on the Bitcoin base layer. I publish that to the world's most immutable database that's immortal, that's indestructible on a transaction that cannot be interdicted. If I do that, I've got an orange check. It might cost me a quarter once in my life, but now you've got an immutable identity. If you tie that to your Twitter identity, now if someone wants to launch a billion Twitter bots, it's going to cost them 1 billion transactions, and that's going to be $1 billion. You end up with a cost to mount a billion repetition attack. But B, if you become a fake person, if you generate 10 million fake people, and I catch you in my screen and I block you, it costs you $1 or $10 or $100. So by conjoining or by combining the power of cryptography with the power of a decentralized crypto network like Bitcoin, I can bring cost and consequence into cyberspace. Okay, and I'll give you an example of cost and consequence in real space. Gravity and friction. And if I take away the gravity, you float away.
Yeah.
And if I take away the friction, you can't walk across the carpet. And so no machine can work in the universe without conservation, thermodynamics, gravitational laws, etc. No machine can work in cyberspace without the same thing. And so I think that the AIs have just taken us to the natural conclusion, which is cyberspace suffers from toxicity. And in the absence of a cost, of a thermodynamic cost to do something, you cannot trust the thing you see. And so it's inevitable that we're going to actually introduce this idea of cryptographic verification. And once I've done it, then I can digitally sign every document. And if this interview with you and I, we'll finish it. How do you post it to 10 different platforms and sign it? Because if you post it to Twitter, you might be able to sign it with a gold check.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $1,000 a month and $12,000 a year to have a verification sitting in a centralized database at Twitter. And it won't work on Facebook, Google, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, iMessage, and Telegram, and Reddit. So if you wanted to have a universal authentication, you would create an orange check, and you would actually burn the orange check in the blockchain into Bitcoin's blockchain. You would publish it to Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and iMessage, and you would tell everybody, if you get a message from me or you see work of mine, it needs to be signed with this orange check identity. And if you did that, then you would have some defense when I spin up an AI, because my AI can copy you, copy me, and create 10,000 hours of interviews of the two of us, where you say anything I want you to say, and I say anything the robot master wants me to say, and it will look just as good or better than this interview.
Right.
And the issue is, how can I tell the difference between the fake and the real? And the answer is only with a cryptographic proof that's thermodynamically sound.
Had
MicroStrategy's working on a project in this area where we want to plug Bitcoin's security, the cryptographic security, into enterprise security of any corporation. And I know that Block has projects on decentralized identity where they're studying how you can blend cryptographic security in the modern world in a decentralized way that relies upon an open permissionless protocol like a Bitcoin. So I think there are a lot of people that are looking at this right now, and I think you'll see people focused on it a lot more over the next 24 to 36 months as they see the threat coming from the new AI bots. I mean, there's no reason to wait for someone to save you. Save yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to do it, and if someone copies us and they do it better, that's fine.
So there's Michael Saylor's intriguing viewpoints on transformative technologies, particularly Bitcoin and AI. Saylor's unique ability to identify revolutionary technologies early has made him a pioneer in the tech world, so his thoughts and outlook on artificial intelligence carry more weight than most. Remember his advice for entrepreneurs and innovators: a limited window exists to seize the burgeoning opportunities in AI. This tech revolution has the potential to generate immense wealth and foster groundbreaking innovations. Moreover, let's not forget Saylor's innovative perspective on the role Bitcoin could play in addressing the challenges posed by AI. He proposes that the Bitcoin network could be used to verify real human users and could counteract the threat of AI bots spreading misinformation and manipulating public sentiment online. Finally, as Saylor suggested, AI could either be the driving force behind history's most significant revolution or potentially signal an end to humanity as we know it. This thought-provoking insight underlines the importance of Bitcoin as a potential safeguard in this AI-dominated future. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Don't forget to share your thoughts on Saylor's ideas in the comments. What do you think about the intersection of Bitcoin and AI? We would love to hear your opinions. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.